The bye week is over and the run to the playoffs is on. Welcome to this edition of Ravens Rundown by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here. Thanks for joining us as we are here to tell you about the playoff picture for your Baltimore Ravens. What's it going to take to not just get to the postseason and win the AFC North, but to capture the number one seed in the AFC and the first round bye? We'll tell you coming up in just a matter of moments. Before we do, if you want the Ravens to get that number one seed, like today's video. I've been told that you help out the Ravens' chances if you like today's video. So don't question it, don't jinx it, don't maybe come find you. Just go ahead and like today's video if you want that number one seed, and we'll get started with today's show. Let's begin with the playoff picture in the American Football Conference. The Dolphins hold the number one spot at the moment with some tiebreaker of sorts over the Ravens. Don't ask me how, but they do. The Jags are at the number 3 spot, Kansas City at 4 after last night's loss to the Green Bay Packers. The wild card, the Steelers are at the 5 spot, Indianapolis at 6, and Cleveland at 7. Who would have thought Indy was going to be a playoff team? But here we are. And then in the hunt, one of my favorite terms, has Houston with that same record as Cleveland and as Indianapolis. A couple 6-6 teams with Denver and Buffalo, and Cincinnati at 5-6. The AFC North standings. The Ravens are in good position. The Steelers lose yesterday. They dropped to 7-5, same record as the Browns. And then Cincinnati at 5-6 with no Joe Burrow, with Browning, the guy for the rest of the year. They seem to be out of the picture at this point. So Ravens 9-3, first place in the division. They are in a great spot right now going forward. And the thing to keep in mind as well is that the Ravens, even though they're not the one seed at the moment by way of tiebreaker, with Miami holding that spot, they control their own destiny to the number one seed in the AFC. As you look at the remaining games, they face the Jags. They also face the Miami Dolphins, and they face the Pittsburgh Steelers of the remaining AFC slate. So not only do you just keep on winning and you're in good shape, but you'll take down those teams that are potentially in your way to get that number one seed. So it's a tough schedule. We'll have more on that in just a second. But it's all within your control. We don't have to worry about a rooting guide or anything like that. The only thing you need to root for is the Ravens to win football games right now. What's the final record going to be for your Baltimore Ravens in 2023? Will it be good enough to win the number one seed in the AFC? It's our pinned comment today. Weigh in. Tell us what you think if the Ravens will make it, get enough wins to get that one seed. Give me your final record in that comment section. Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks. Prize Picks, the place to go for daily fantasy made easy. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS for a $100 deposit match on your first entry when you use the promo code CLNS. Here's how it works. Real simple. Pick 2 or more players on any given category. You get the choice of more or less, whether you're talking fantasy points or passing yards, receptions, or more. Here's what we're doing on Monday Night Football tonight. Jake Browning of the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Jags tonight. Browning's a fraud. He's not having 218.5 passing yards. We're going less on that. Travis Etienne, I think he's going to have a big night tonight running against this Cincinnati defense. I got him having more than 67.5 rush yards. I put $20 down on those, and we win. We're taking home $60. So play along with us. PrizePicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS to win big today. Link is in the comments and description of today's video. PrizePicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS for daily fantasy made easy. Now, as we reach this stretch, Ravens fans, this has not been a fun stretch for this team over the last couple of seasons, as Lamar Jackson has missed a total of 10 games from week 13 on the last couple of years. Hasn't been good as he's dealt with those season-ending injuries. And, I mean, we've seen, if you don't have your quarterback, then the committee's going to keep you out of the 4-team playoff, Shout out Florida State. But even with that said, what we've seen is that when you don't have Lamar Jackson, things don't go too well. And whether it's Tyler Huntley or Josh Johnson, I don't want to go down that route. The Ravens have to do whatever they can to keep Lamar healthy for this final stretch because you can't win without Lamar. Simple as that. Just like Florida State can't win without Jordan Travis. Well, they can win but not get the style points. You get the idea. The upcoming schedule, here's what we're looking at. This week, you play Aaron Donald in the Rams. You talk about staying healthy. What a challenge you have here. I mean, by all means, put whatever you need to keep Lamar healthy, whether it's plastic bubble wrap or something, because we know that Aaron Donald is going to get his. Then you play the Jags, who have a good defense, and that's a road game. The Niners with Bosa and company, they got some pass rushers there. The Dolphins, and then you finish out with the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is a brutal stretch. And here's the deal. Not only twofold of trying to get home field and win the division, all that, but keeping Lamar healthy for a playoff run. This is the toughest schedule remaining of any team left in the National Football League. That's brutal. The win percentage of those 5 teams right there, 66% right now. That's a murderous row ahead. Even the Rams are the worst team of those 5. Rams are in the playoff contention all of a sudden. So it's not going to be an easy stretch, but it can be done. I'll explain why in a moment, why I think this Ravens team will end up with the number 1 seed in the AFC. But I want to ask you, of those 5 remaining games, what's toughest for this Baltimore Ravens team? Weigh in that comment section. Let us know what you think. We are covering the Baltimore Ravens each and every day. Even during the bye week last week, we had plenty of stuff going on here on the channel. Daily news and rumors, our watch parties, and more. If you love the Baltimore Ravens, this is the channel for you. Subscribe now for free for the latest happenings on your favorite team. We got you covered right here on Ravens Rundown by Chat Sports. Now, let's go to the New York Times playoff model. When that newspaper is not reporting fake news, then they're putting together these NFL playoff projections. And the good news for the Ravens is that this actually isn't fake news, believe it or not. They have a 99% chance to make the postseason, according to the not fake news New York Times, at least for today. They're not fake news. The division title chances, about 85%. So that's pretty good. A bye week, which would mean getting the number 1 overall seed, having a week off, essentially a playoff win at that point, 25% right now. And then hosting a wild card game, which would mean not getting the 1 seed, but winning the division, is about a 61% chance right now. And then being a wild card team, not winning the division, not getting to host a home playoff game, is about a 12% chance right now. So of these numbers, the Ravens are in pretty good shape entering this final 5 stretch. I think of these 5 games, realistically, I can live with going 3-2. I mean, out of respect for the opponents you face. I mean, and that's the thing, realistically. You're not going to go 5-0 in that stretch if we're just being completely honest here. But if you go 3-2, you're going to be fine. If you go 4-1, then you're going to be in great shape. And with taking on those teams like Jacksonville and Miami, and I think the Dolphins are big-time frauds. They can't beat any good teams. The Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes doesn't have anybody to throw the football to. And then the Jacksonville Jaguars, I think, aren't quite ready for prime time. You're in great shape. And it all gets started this week against this LA Rams team. The Rams are not to be taken lightly, but I feel like that this Ravens team matches up well. Even if it becomes a shootout of some sorts, because the Rams do have some playmakers on their offense, and we'll get into more of this later in the week with our game preview, the Ravens can go toe-to-toe with anybody. And I know there's going to be concerns about this team without Mark Andrews and all that, but we saw Isaiah Likely take a huge step in the right direction a couple of weeks ago. So I'm feeling pretty good about where this Ravens team is at, getting ready for the postseason, and I think they're going to be in great shape to be that number 1 seed. Keep Lamar healthy, stay the course, and this team's going to be just fine. If you enjoyed today's show with the latest look at the Ravens playoff picture, like today's video. We certainly would appreciate it, and we'll see you next time right here on the channel.